Hello students, in our next video, as we already learned that what is the process of condensation and processes of different evaporation, hydrological cycle. Now we are going to learn about the form of precipitation. The first and foremost, which is rain, which could be easily observed by us in daily phenomena, daily basis throughout the year. Sometimes it is monsoonal rain, sometimes it is depressional rain or cyclonic rain. So there are different rainfalls. So before beginning the rainfall, we have to study the other formation of precipitation. The snowfall is another formation of precipitation. The precipitation is the process by which the water vapor condenses, or after condensation the water droplets fall on the ground surface in the form of snow, which is called the snowfall. Mainly the snowfall occurs at the polar region or subpolar region or high altitudinal places. There are several examples of having snowfall in Earth's surface. Like we could observe snowfall in India as well, but in higher altitude like Jammu and Kashmir, Darjeeling, Sikkim. And polar region, subpolar region also experiences snowfall. There are heavy snowfalls over different parts of the world. Third one is the hailstorm. I have already briefed the hailstorm in our previous video, but again I am describing it. The hailstorm, hail is the form of large crystal balls formed at the high altitude due to the sudden decrease in temperature. While condensation occurs, while two or more water vapor molecule of the water vapor coincides with each other, it could form a large crystal balls into the clouds. And due to the gravitational force, the heavy crystal balls just drop down from the high altitude and couldn't melt easily. That is called the hail. And hail is accompanied by severe storm, which is called the hailstorm, and it could affect the agricultural field as well as the human lifestyle in some parts of the world. The West Bengal in India experiences major hailstorm in different parts. Like in recent past, we also experience hailstorm in different regions of West Bengal. Fourth one is the drizzle. It is another part of rainfall. When there is a little droplets, very little and tiny droplets of water falls on the ground surface, it is called drizzle. We obviously we say in different times that it is drizzling outside. It is very little rainfall, tiny droplets of the water, and it sometimes it's suspended in atmosphere as well. And the fifth one is sleet. It is also a formation of snowfall, part of snowfall. Actually, sleet is very thin layer of ice stable on the ground surface. In the winter night, when the temperature decreases, all over the ground surface, the water droplet freezed and create a thin layer of ice, which is called sleet. The leaves of the trees, the roads, streets, all of the surface is covered with a thin layer of ice. It is called sleet, and mainly it is predominant in subpolar region. It is predominant USA and Canada as well, some parts of Canada in pre-winter or wintry nights. Now we have to study the rainfall. There are classification of rainfall. Number one is called convectional rainfall. Number two is termed as orographic rainfall, and number three is called cyclonic rainfall. So these three types of rainfall are different form and different occurred in different parts of the world, and it needs different category, different factors to form. First one, the convectional rainfall. During the day, the diurnal rate of temperature in the equatorial region or in the tropical region, the rate of evaporation is very high. And as the equatorial region have larger amount of water bodies, the rate of evaporation exceeds. Much more evaporation rate could be observed over the area or the region. The higher amount of, as the rate of evaporation increase, the air holds much more water vapor within it, and the lighter air goes upward and condenses into a larger amount of clouds. It could develop the cumulonimbus cloud, which is also called the thunder clouds as well. The diurnal rate is as high as it could develop the larger amount of clouds, and after some times it couldn't hold the excessive amount of water vapor and precipitate at the evening time. This rainfall, the whole process, this rainfall is termed as convectional rain. The convectional rainfall is accompanied by thunderstorms. As it's a daily phenomena, the process is ongoing process. The equatorial region, which have a larger area of water masses, the rate of evaporation exceeds and creates clouds, the cumulonimbus clouds, and precipitate at the evening. It's the daily process, and it is also termed as "4 o'clock rain" in the equatorial region. Places like Singapore, Thailand, Malaysia, all the region will experience 4 o'clock rain. The second one is the orographic rainfall. The word oro means mountain. So, from the term orography, we could assume that it is related to mountain rainfall. The diagram, and we have to remember that while we are describing all these phenomena, we have to draw the diagrams. So, practice is must. During the daytime, again the air over the water mass gets heated up, it becomes lighter, warmer and rises upward. And the movement of the wind, if there is an obstruction, if there is a mountain on the land mass, the rain bearing wind could be obstructed by the mountain and goes upward, condenses, creates cloud, and due to the obstruction, the cloud, if that is saturated, the cloud will precipitate on this slope of the mountain, which is called windward slope. The slope, the specific slope which receives rainfall is called windward slope. And after the rainfall, the cloud became rainless. The cloud became less humid. Crossing the mountain, it became comparatively drier. And this part of the mountain will receive lesser amount of rainfall. The slope is termed as leeward slope. Fine. So whole rainfall process will be called orographic rainfall, mountain rainfall. From this portion you may have some questions like Mumbai receives higher amount of rainfall, but Pune, located nearby Mumbai, receives lesser amount of rainfall. Explain. Meghalaya receiving the highest, world's highest receiving rainfall region, but Shillong, located nearby, receives lesser amount of rainfall. Why? Just because the windward slope and the leeward slope. You have to explain by this way. After learning from your book, you could have explained by yourself. So that is the orographic rainfall. And lastly, we have to study the cyclonic rainfall. In our previous chapter, we have already learned about the sudden winds, the cyclones and anticyclones. So from the cyclones and anticyclones as well, the rainfall also occurs by that phenomenon. The cyclonic rainfall is classified into two categories. One will be tropical cyclone, and the second one will be mid-latitudinal cyclone. So as the cyclone forms due to the depression caused on the landmass or in the water mass as well, mainly it is characterized by low pressure in the center and the high pressure surrounded area. So the tropical cyclones are formed near the tropical region, or it is observed between 5 degree to 30 degree north and south of the equator, and it is characterized more capability to devastate or more capability to affect the land area. It is much more stronger. The tropical cyclones are much more stronger. The average wind speed varies from 150 to 300 km per hour. We have already read about the wind direction in which the tropical cyclone or the mid-latitudinal cyclone varies. In northern hemisphere, the wind will deflect as the anti-clockwise direction in northern hemisphere, like this way in anti-clockwise direction, and in the southern hemisphere just opposite, it will be clockwise. So there is a variation in pressure gradient. As the pressure gradient increases, the wind velocity increase, or if there is a low pressure gradient, the wind velocity will decrease. And the mid-latitudinal cyclone, there is a slight difference between the formation of tropical cyclone and mid-latitudinal cyclone. There, I hope there is some diagram in your book, like if it is possible for you people to draw the diagram, it could be better. So there will be the development of fronts. There will be development of fronts. Front is nothing but an invisible area where warm air mass and cold air mass merges. The basic difference between the air masses, the temperature of the two air masses differ from each other, so there will be formation of invisible coinciding area. As the warm air mass is lighter and warmer, it will ascends over the cold air mass. The cold air mass being heavy, it will be surrounded by warm air mass, and the formation of fronts will be developed. And this front actually develops the great cumulonimbus or the vertical clouds. If it is the ground surface, it will develop a vertical clouds or the cumulonimbus cloud over the fronts, and the cloud will precipitate, which is also termed as frontal rainfall. The mid-latitudinal cyclones is the frontal rainfall, which actually comparatively less strong than the tropical one. It actually also termed as depression. Throughout 2 or 3 days, the rainfall occurs. The overcast clouds and rainfall is the characteristics of mid-latitudinal cyclones. And we also have some examples of depressions as it is observed in a high latitude, like 40 degree to 60 degree north and south of the equator. On that position, the depression occurs. The wind movement, the velocity of the wind slightly varies from the cyclonic rainfall, tropical rainfall, because the wind velocity varies from 100 to 150 kilometer per hour. That's all, because the wind movement, it is fully dependent on the pressure gradient, the frontal gradient. If the front is much more slope, have the higher intensity of the slope, the wind movement will be higher. But if the front will be gentler, then the wind velocity will be slower than the normal one, or it will be less in amount from the normal one. So these are the three categories of rainfall. Now, one thing, the instrument which measures the rainfall, the amount of rainfall, which is called the rain gauge. It actually measures the amount of rainfall. It's nothing but a cylindrical holding capacity of a funnel, and it measures, it have a specific scale on it and measures how much amount of rainfall received on a specific time. It could be of an hour, it could be of a day. So that's all. It's actually the part of rainfall. The chapter, the second part of the chapter actually contains this much, and we will have a short video on the previous part of this chapter, which is the cloud, which actually we have gone through a small portion we have gone through, but we have to discuss a little bit of the specification of the clouds, which will be on the next video. Thank you all.